And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to this segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Thanks for tuning in today. We're going to move along because we have a phone. Banks are full. We'll take Joe's call from New York. Joe, thank you for your patience. You've been there quite a while. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Well, good morning, Bobby, from, believe it or not, sunny and beautiful New York.
Yay!
Straight up here.
Well, that's my kind of day. I should drop in.
well, you're welcome anytime. I'd like to make a comment or two about EV cars, recharging, and gas stations. First, I'll preface it with I spent many decades in the electrical trade, industrial, residential, commercial, and I'll tell you, anywhere there are the chances of flammable vapors or liquid presence, that is the most highly regulated part of the electrical trade. I mean, the instructors are really tough on that. The minimum to go by is a national electrical code. Now, that's the minimum. On top of that, you have local codes, you have state codes, and the toughest of all, your insurance carrier. Now, what it's all based on, no matter whose code it is vapor density. Okay, an enclosed area, that is the highest amount or highest possible location that you could have vapor density. Okay, I'll bet you I could go out into your shop right now, and any outlets on the perimeter walls, the bottom of that outlet will be no closer to the floor than 18 inches and preferably higher. Okay, and I'll bet you in your service bays, most of your electrical power is provided from the top.
That's correct.
Now, that's because vapor density on drop cords. All right. Now, vapor density, it has many factors affecting it. Air exchange, temperature, flash points of the gas, you name it. And everything they have in common to that is location to the floor. Okay, that being said, we now go outside. We now have a gas island, and we have an electrical island for charging your car.
Okay.
Well, at the gas island and the electrical island, you're outside. All right, there's natural air circulation. There's plenty of room for those vapors to spread out. So the chances of an electrical problem in a car igniting gasoline vapors are negligible. Now, if you want to take it to a practical point of view, you have engines running, electrical systems, ignition systems aren't exactly perfect. You're going to get flashovers.
Yes.
There have been fires at islands, but that's been from static discharges right at the car itself. So if you take everything involved, you know, the chances of charging an EV car causing a problem with gasoline vapors or even, pure ethanol are negligible out of doors, and the odds of anything happening increase with distance. So I really can't foresee a problem.
Well, I thank you for sharing that, and so let me understand, because I was looking at that facility from a business model, because if it did not make good business sense where there could be profit made, it would not survive, it being that business model. And so I was thinking to myself, the gas, I mean, I don't know what stations make out of gasoline, 2 cents a gallon or whatever. I've often wondered what happens when you pump 1,000 gallons of gas and you've made $200 and somebody drives off and doesn't pay. That happens. It doesn't happen in our neighborhood often, but it does happen. But now with the advent of cameras, of course, it's not as easy as it was before. But having said that, it appears to me, and we know that the banana that I pick up when I go in to get a quart of milk at a convenience store, I fill up my gas tank. All of those things have to do with that business model making money, and I don't mind paying a little extra for the quart of milk because I don't want to drive 2 miles down to the Publix. I want to go to the local gas store, fill up my car with gas, get a quart of milk, and go home. Now, having said that,
I've given that thought.
Okay.
I've given that thought, Bobby.
Okay.
It all boils down to time. You're not going to charge an automotive battery and the time it takes to go inside and get a quart of milk. So if you have a location where, for example, next to a highway where people need to pull off, use a restroom, get a sandwich or something where they're going to sit down for maybe 20 minutes to a half an hour, that would be prime. I can't see how you would lose once electric vehicles take off.
Okay. Well, in fact, Bill Trundle, the gentleman that took me and my vice president for a ride, and also Kevin, young Kevin in there, who is smiling now, in his vehicle, took that 5,000-mile journey, and he plotted his course so that he could, every 200 miles, stop. And he said, I had no range anxiety whatsoever. He said the car ran beautifully, and he said I stopped and I got fuel. But he knew before he left the Gulf Coast of Florida, and I don't know where he went, but he went 5,000-mile round trip. But he knew exactly where to stop, and it was never a problem. It was, in fact, it was kind of a fun. It was part of his planning. And so I really, truly believe, like you said, once the EVs take off, and with gasoline at what I said it was $1, it's $1.50. Well, let's see what the national average. $1.78 national average. The biggest challenge I think, Joe, we have right now is the low price of gasoline. But you know, the price of crude is contrived. And so we won't have these low prices forever. They will actually go back up. And quite candidly, a $3 or $4 per gallon price on gasoline would be good for the development of alternative fuels, alternative vehicles, EVs. I mean, they run the whole gamut. So I think there's a lot of, I really sincerely believe there's a lot of jockeying for position going on globally, way above my pay grade, that are creating these low prices so that the smaller guys can be driven out of business. What's your take on that?
Well, no matter what your pay grade is, if you've been on a planet long enough since about 1972, we've all been stung a number of times.
Yes.
All right, the prices go up, the cars get more efficient. Okay, so they drop the prices. Now you've got muscle cars back on the road, and the cycle's gone back and forth. SUVs,
exactly.
you name it.
Right.
So those of us who've been around on the planet are the ones who are going to be buying electric cars. Okay, young kids, 19, 20, and such, aren't going to be buying them simply because they don't know. So the ones who have been bitten before are the ones who know. I mean, the party's going to be over sooner or later. Okay, the market can only bear it so long. They're losing money. So development on EV cars aren't going to stop. If I could afford one right now, I'd have two. They're great, and gas prices aren't really going to affect development and the market. Now, I think I forgot where that they're standing in line to buy these things.
Well, I know that they're standing in line to wait on Tesla to put out the $35,000 or $50,000 EV, and yeah, I mean, I know there are people right here on the Gulf Coast, and this is not a rural community. It's not like we're in Manhattan. Where you don't drive your own cars, and you have this city driving that's all city. Ours is sort of spread out. It's neither city nor rural. Actually, you can 35 minutes to get you across town easily. So we could buy in our city. I believe people are buying what they want, and not what is facilitated or needs by is chosen by their needs. But anyway, this is good thought, good dialogue, and I really appreciate your comments, and I thank you so much. And it's always great to hear from you, and I'm glad your weather's cooperating today. Happy sunny Saturday.
Okay, Bobby, but I'll trade mine for yours any day.
Okay, all right. Take care, Joe.